So, variably windy conditions this morning. It's died down again now, but it keeps dying down, but it's deceptive. Whenever you get a plane up, it starts gusting this way and that. So, not very suitable for the planes I've got with me. Tried out the little Tiger Moth, tried out the Super Cub that I did the brushless conversion on again. Not going to try flying a microplane FPV in these variable windy conditions, just not worth it. So, I'm going to try the truck again. Truck doesn't care about wind. So, I've got the FPV camera firmly attached there with double-sided tape. No more of this Velcro business. Battery's still on with Velcro, but that's okay. I'm going to power the FPV off a little battery here. And now that should be on, so we'll try turning the goggles on and see what happens. Oh, well, yes, it works better if you take the lens cap off. That's not static, that's just darkness what you're seeing there because the lens cap's on. It's got a feed, but the lens cap's on. There we go. Now we've got taken the lens cap off, we can actually see something. So then we try and find, the buttons on the front are a bit hard to find, so we find this, we turn it. Okay, so we got that. We turn it to DVR mode. And then, famous last words, yes, there we go. So that should start the DVR recording, and indeed it does, yes. There we go, 3, 4, 5, okay. So the DVR in the headset is recording. Now I need to figure out, now I need to turn the actual trucks on. I hurt my finger there, which doesn't help. I gotta get in there and press the button. Did I get it? No, I don't think I did. I don't know, I can't see the light. I'm trying to turn the truck on. Oh, there you go, now it's on. I'm trying to press that button on the ESC on the truck to turn it on. Oh, idiot. You have to turn the blithering transmitter on. Should have turned the transmitter on first, but anyway. We seem to be bound now. I should have turned the transmitter on first, same as for planes. Okay. We'll see, I don't know. I'm going to try and drive this guy FPV again. Well, I'm going to see. It's very bumpy. I think it'll be a bit less bumpy now that I've got the Velcro on, but I mean the bumpiness of the ground's always going to be there. Okay, so I'm going to try and put the goggles on. Got to put the goggles on if I'm going to do anything FPV, or when I've got to remember to switch back to cam mode. Easy to forget that, although mind you, you've got that great big number there in front telling you you're in the other mode. But okay. We switch back to the direct feed mode, and we'll try and put these on without pulling the battery plug out, which is all too easy to do, unfortunately. Okay, and then I'll see if I can get this on top somehow. I appreciate that, you know, this doesn't work too well. Oh, would help if I had the controller. I'm not going to drive it much without the controller. Okay. And let's see if we can actually achieve anything. Try and get these on a little bit more comfortably. Now, of course, you use your left finger for the trigger on this, and I've injured my left index finger, so that's not a help. Oh, yes, I mean, it's way, way, way less bumpy now. You know, a large part of the bumpiness before was clearly because the camera was just shaking around on the Velcro. Yeah, same problems with the planes. When you go towards the sun, you can't see anything because it's very hard to see anything when you drive towards the sun, because the sun makes the camera iris shut down. I'm trying to drive back towards myself here. It's a little hard to see what you're doing. I maybe have the camera pointing down a bit more than is helpful. That's me. That's myself, yes. disorientating the way the noise of the truck comes towards you and then goes away. Well, of course, naturally it does. It's meant to. But I'm just driving down sort of to the far end of the runway here, all being well. We'll try not to drive into the long grass because that's not going to be at all helpful. Where the heck are we? We seem to have been going for an awful long while. Oh, and it's stopped. Lifting the transmitter up helps. Yeah, it doesn't have great range, this. I mean, it stopped then, I think, because the signal cut out, but I was able to get it working again by lifting the transmitter up in the air. And there's me on the right. Come back. So it really doesn't have good range, this. I mean, it cuts out when it goes, yeah. Doesn't have to go that far away from you to cut out. I'm a bit, so that's me holding the transmitter up in the air. And there's the, whatchamacallem, the windsock. Yeah, so I can't even get down. We don't want to go into the long grass. So basically, I can't even really get down. This is not very comfortable holding the transmitter up like this. Yeah, I can't even really get down to the other end of the runway, sitting down comfortably without the transmitter just cutting out because it doesn't, you know, I guess it's not receiving the signal anymore. Well, planes are, we don't want to come, we're at that end of the runway. That was down that end of the runway. It's a bit hard to see what you're doing. Doesn't help. Well, and as I say, it's much harder when you're coming this way because it gets darker. Helps if the sun's not out, but the sun keeps coming in and out. It's intermittently cloudy. The nice thing about this is, unlike a plane, if you're not sure what the heck's happening, you can just stop it and nothing's going to go wrong. I mean, where am I now? Yeah, not basically in front of myself, more or less. Yeah, I can hear the truck now. There you go. Well, cross-eyed. Try not to drive into that other fence. But I can't get it to the far end of the runway, I don't think. Because it runs out of control. That's the sun there on the horizon, more or less. It's just a little bit after sunrise now. Yeah, one thing this shows at least is that a very large part, oh there you go, we're at the other end of the runway now, so but it's stopped. You really have to keep lifting the transmitter in the air at that range, else it won't work. It needs the transmitter to be held fairly well up. What direction am I facing in here? Oh, there's myself over there, isn't it? Yeah, you got to hold the transmitter up seriously above your head to get down to the far end of the runway. There you go. Well, I don't know what you can conclude about this, but anyway, I think that'll do for an initial trial. Whoa, my arms are tired. Well, you look like a statue or something. Anyway, okay. I think we're going to try, I'm not even sure how to do it, to try to take bits off at this point. Whoa! It's not so easy to stand up. I'll go and try and sort eyewear out here and headwear a bit. Put the transmitter down, take that cap off and put it down, though I can barely see, and then we'll take the whatchamacallums off. Take off the goggles, then we'll, oh, no, that's okay, it's meant to do that. It goes blank when you switch from one mode to another. So now we're in DVR mode, we've recorded 8 minutes of video supposedly, so we press the plus button, famous last words, and it should stop recording. There we go, and hopefully that will cause it to save the DVR file, because I have had some problems losing DVR files before, but there and again, yeah, I mean, I guess you've got to be careful to make sure you... I have to take my spectacles off to wear those goggles, because I can't wear those with my spectacles on. They won't, yeah, that just wouldn't work. My spectacles are wider than them, so they wouldn't go. They do have an adjustable lens. This thing here adjusts the focus, and that's adjusted as far as I can one way, and that gives me the closest I can get to a clear view. It's not 100% in focus even then. At least it's good they have some adjustment, but it's pretty wet. The truck is quite wet, so we hope it's fairly water resistant. There's a bug crawling on the tyre there, but yeah, it's quite wet all over, even the top. Okay, so we can, I guess we can turn off, we can try and unplug the DVR. Well, the DVR's already unplugged the FPV camera. That's going to need to be charged. That little battery. And then we try and, it's hard to do, reach in there and turn off the truck, but it's made extra hard by the fact, there we go, that I've hurt my index finger there, so I can't really use my index finger very well. So that's off now. Yep, that's off. So we can turn. Now this is running. Now this again is running on a 4,000 milliamp hour LiPo now. Makes it much lighter. I mean, because a significant part of the weight, you know, was the NIMH before the NIMH battery, although it's not really any bigger, it's a lot heavier. It's lighter and it's got more power with the LiPo battery in it.